Hey there, Aries, and welcome to your week of January 3rd, 2022 general tarot reading. We're going to be looking at your energy over here on the left coming into this week. Then here in the center, we're going to be looking at some potential challenges coming in for you. And over on the right, we're going to be looking at some potential outcome cards as well. These are going to all get some more details as we're going to clarify them with some more cards a little later on. And then we're going to tie everything off with an oracle card at the end of the video. These are general readings though, Aries, so some of this, all of this, or maybe none of it will resonate with you. If it resonates, that's beautiful, but if it doesn't resonate, it's just not part of your message, so don't try to make something fit that doesn't. So with that out of the way, let's just get into your reading with your energy over here. On the left, we got the Page of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups here. I like this little symbolism seen here already with the Ace and the Page of Cups here. Just from the onset, it already looks like as though something is sort of an idea, and then at the end of this, it's in your hands. It's like you have an opportunity in your hands here already. So I'm liking that. But with the Page of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups here, it just feels like at this time you're really focusing down on things that are good, your strengths, things of value, and things that are not your weaknesses. There aren't negativities, right? The Five of Pentacles talks a lot about how, you might feel left out in the cold, or you might feel as though, that you have nowhere to go. But the Five of Pentacles also tells us to not focus on our weaknesses, to focus on our strengths instead. Don't enhance the negativity. Don't let people see that, because once people see that negativity, they'll start saying, oh, well, maybe that puts them off a little bit, especially if this is sort of something new, right? You don't want to go in there with some self-deprecating humor if you're just starting up a new relationship with a partner, right? You want to come in making yourself seem as good as possible, right? You want to accentuate the good. And that's really what I'm seeing here is like, I feel like you're in that mode where you're like, let's do that. Let's really emphasize the good stuff here. And I like this where I feel like for a lot of you Aries, this is sort of a relationship like we're talking about with the Ace of Cups here. Overflowing emotion, right? You might have recently met someone, maybe a Page of Pentacles, who, could be an earth sign, so Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Could have recently met some of them, someone like that who's young at heart here, or maybe possibly a water sign with the Page of Cups down here, that being a Cancer, a Pisces, or a Scorpio. So you might have recently met one of those two types of people, or maybe none of those, because these are general readings. But I feel like you've recently encountered this person, and it's really kind of igniting your inner child and your young spirit, at this time. So I think that's really beautiful. And I feel like you're overflowing with emotion. It's like this is a really good start with this person. I especially like that where we have the Two of Cups here in the outcomes, which we'll get to here in a little bit. But moving into your challenges, we got the Knight of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Four of Wands here at this time. So what we could be dealing with here at this time is you could be going up against a fire or an air sign, a fellow fire sign. So that would be yourself, Aries, another Aries, a Leo, hello Spike, a Sagittarius. For the fire signs, or for the air signs, it could be a Aquarius, Libra, or a Gemini. You could be dealing with one of those two, one of those six signs here with the Knight and the King here. So it could be those. If you're looking for love, there could be a rival here, and that's one of those signs, or maybe not. Again, general readings, of course. It could also just be saying here at this time, you might be lacking a bit of maturity for this relationship. Like you might not be showing that here at this time with that Knight of Swords here. With the Knight of Wands as well, maybe here there's a bit of a lack of that charismatic, fuel, right? That's sort of like the Knight of Wands is very charismatic and enigmatic, really coming in there like wooing and, sweeping people off their feet like the Knight of Wands. He's quite good at that. But this could also just be saying, beware of people who, with the Knight of Wands, is like a time or an energy vampire. And also beware of someone with the King of Swords, who is potentially someone who is very brutally honest and brutally truthful, right? One thing really drives me up the wall is people who, and maybe you're one of these Aries, but this doesn't matter. This is just my opinion on things, is I hate people who say, I'm a whatever sign, so I can't help it. That's just how I am. That, for me, is just someone who is has shitty behavior and doesn't want to take responsibility for it, right? There's a difference between acknowledging you have a problem and actually taking care of it. So that might be something you might need to work on this week is, maybe you are kind of saying like, oh, I'm just like this and I can't help it. It's like, no, that's, you can acknowledge that you have a problem. That's a good start. But there is such a thing as taking care of it and taking responsibilities for your action, which I feel like that may be needed at this time here, because I feel like there's a little bit of that lack of maturity. But again, you could be dealing with, maybe a rival in love, could be a fire or air sign. And with the Four of Wands here, Four of Wands is a card of marriage and happiness. And where it's in your challenges, you may feel like that's kind of slipping away from you, especially where, you're looking for love here. And it feels like you're competing against these other two people. Maybe someone like, again, maybe one of those air signs or fire signs. You might be competing against a very charismatic person and also a very mature, has everything straight person. Or again, those are something you need to take care of, those negative aspects of being like a time energy vampire, being very selfish, or saying that you have, oh, I know I have flaws, but not trying to address them and not trying to make up for them as well. So very interesting. Over here in your outcome cards, we got the Two of Cups, the Eight of Cups, and the Page of Cups. Lots of emotions here. Lots of, feelings and emotions and empathy and understanding here at this time. So I like that. Two of Cups can represent making a choice, making a decision. All twos in tarot represent that. But with the Two of Cups, it can be making a decision when it comes to your emotions and your feelings. So, maybe deciding whether, you want to pursue a certain emotion or pursue something, maybe pursue a person that makes you feel a certain way. The Two of Cups can also represent a soulmate, but these are generally soulmates who don't really want to stick around or don't leave a big time impact here. So you might be wondering whether you should commit the time with this person because maybe you click, but not really that way that you really want to click. Like they're not like there's not that real solid, like, yeah, this is the one. Like, you don't have that feeling. You're like, oh, this person like could be the one. Maybe I need to, see this through a little more here. But, you're not getting that like definitive, like, oh yes, like, like the magic movie moment, right? Which I think rarely does happen to us when it comes to love. But where we're talking about that decision, we got the Page of Cups and the Eight of Cups here, which I think is a really interesting thing, which I talked about here earlier, where we're talking about the Ace of Cups and how it's now in the Page of Cups hands. It's almost as if you're seizing an opportunity or starting up something new, right? This could be you starting up a new relationship with a person, of course. So that's the one choice you could go down. But with the Eight of Cups here, the Eight of Cups is about walking away. So there's a choice of maybe walking away from this person. Maybe you've seen enough. You're like, all right, well, this is it. They have other prospects here. They're not really giving me the same time and energy I'm giving them, so I'm going to leave them be. Or it could be the opposite, where it's like, you know what, I really want to pursue this because I feel like there's a ton of potential here. There's a real opportunity to have something beautiful. It's just I kind of got to see it through and make them give me the attention I deserve and I feel like we could make happen. So I think that's really awesome. So decisions to be made for you here this week or in the future for you, Aries. So we're going to look at some clarifiers, as I mentioned earlier. Before we get into that though, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it so much. All the love and support, all the likes, the shares, the subscribes, the comments. I appreciate it all so much. I'm sending love and support out to you too. I hope these are resonating, and even if they're not resonating, I hope everything's going good anyway. Before we get into the rest of your clarifiers here, we're gonna be tying everything off with an oracle card at the end of the video, so you're gonna want to stick around for that, just as a friendly reminder, so to see your full message. So we're going ahead here, clarifying your energy. We got the Page of Wands. We got a card I just shot off into the netherworld. It was the Queen of Swords. Very interesting. We will get to this in a moment. And we got Leo coming in here with the Strength card here. So with the Page of Wands, so we got 3 of the 4 pages here out and about here. With the Page of Wands, we're really talking about that spark, this idea, this big shot in the arm of energy, and really wanting to pursue this. Like you're feeling like you're getting this big boost from this person. So I feel like this is someone who's matching energy, right? Like I say, we got 3 of the 4 pages. Like again, this person might be hitting off really good, and there's this potential here because again, we got 3 of the 4, right? And it feels like, oh man, there's something here. It's almost It's almost there. What is the missing element? At the moment, it's the Page of Swords, which is interesting because the Queen of Swords has shown up here, which is also good because the Queen and King of Swords are divine counterparts. So whenever you see a King and Queen of Swords come up, they are, it is, or any of the kings and queens like of the similar suit, that's a divine counterpart. So like, again, we're talking about that soulmate energy, right? With the Two of Cups. With the King and Queen of Swords, though, they're not the best couple, right? Of the four, they're probably the worst off because they're so analytical and they're so like about like, how does this serve me? Or what is the truth of things? They kind of don't have the emotions there. So that again kind of falls in line with the like things not quite being there. Like you might feel like this person is that connection, but it's gonna be just a little bit off, right? It's gonna be maybe not quite what you hoped it would, but it's still kind of that connection too. With the Strength card here, this is a sign of Leo, so you may have Leo in your chart, might be dealing with a Leo, but this is saying you're coming off very strong, and that's what I talked about with the Five of Pentacles, focusing on your strengths and the positivity, rather than focusing on your weaknesses and negativity here. So I'm loving that. That's great. You're very attractive at this time here, but I feel like if you're competing against the Knight of Wands and the King of Swords, you're also competing against someone who is coming off with that same sort of like, I can compete, I can match up, right? But just in a different way than you, Aries. So let's take a look and clarify those cards and see what we got for you. All right. So we got the Death card, sign of Scorpio, the Justice card, sign of Libra, and the Emperor, that's your card, Aries. That's interesting. So you may have Scorpio or Libra in your chart. The Emperor is, of course, your card, Aries. When you come up in your own reading, even when it's in your challenge positions, that's very good. That's showing that you're very strong. So what we're seeing here is like those three forces. There's you, that Knight of Wands, and that King of Swords, all kind of competing for this person, for their affection, for their attention, right? With the Death card and the Justice card, it may feel like it's not fair. Like you may feel like this person's not giving you that time like we were talking about. They might not be giving you the same kind of attention that you're giving them. Like it might be one of those things where they message you, you reply right away. They don't get back to you for like, 10, 15 minutes, or they don't get back to you for another hour or something, right? Because that's just how it is. But in the meantime, you're coming right back, right? You're coming right back with like, yes, I'm invested. You're on my mind. I'm waiting on your messages and stuff, but they're not giving that same kind of energy back, right? So again, it may not feel fair that way with the Justice card. With Death here, I feel like there's a change you really want to have happen. And again, I feel like that's the focus you want to be on you. It's like saying here that you really want them to turn around and be like, look at you, look at Aries, look at me. I'm here, I'm invested, I'm putting in serious effort. I want this connection to be real. I feel like this connection's real. I feel like it's divine here. I'm coming in strong as I can. I'm coming in being like, this is me, this is Aries, like this is me at my best. Do you want it or not, right? And I feel like they're kind of being like, well, still kind of weighing their options, right? So let's take a look at your outcome clarifiers. Again, we're thinking about maybe walking away or, really doubling down on this person, but let's see what's going to be clarifying us here. All right. We got the Six of Wands, the Ace of Wands, there you go, and the Three of Cups. Here we are. So there's the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands, the Page of Wands has the Ace of Wands in his hands. Saying, again, that's kind of like this new beginning, that shot in the arm of energy. The Ace of Wands really wants you to start something new. Makes sense too, where we're talking about the Page of Cups, this new opportunity, this new thing to begin. With the Six of Wands, it is about, walking the walk and talking the talk, as above, so below, really lining up what you're saying with what you're doing, right? So I feel like that's going to be really important. That's going to make you very attractive. The Six of Wands is a card of celebrations and victory. The Three of Cups is also a card of victory and not so much victory, but celebrations for sure. There's a bit of victory, right? This is sort of like the after party, whereas the Six of Wands is more like the victory lap, right? So we got that there. So I feel like for a lot of you, this is going to be like, let's go for it. Let's double down. Let's really show this person like this is who I am and that I'm serious about it. And it might not even just be like a big flourish and a big show of things here. It might just be a telling them like, hey, this is how I feel, and I just don't want to waste my own time. If you're not serious and you're not wanting to pursue this with me, like if it's not the case, I'm gonna walk away, right? Like with the Eight of Cups here. Or for some of you, it's like if you're putting out that energy and you're saying like, hey, this is it, this is what I want, but they're still kind of giving you the like, well, maybe, kind of, well, I'm still kind of weighing my options. I don't want to get into anything serious right now. And if that's not what you want, you don't want kind of a lighthearted fling sort of thing. You want something serious. You want that divine counterpart. Well, it's time to move on and go find someone who does want that and who you do want to share that with, and someone who's going to match that energy with you. So I'm liking that, Aries. So again, like that's all up to you, right? You got to decide here. Am I going to go in for it, or am I going to walk away, right? So I'm liking that. I feel like it's really just a matter of like whether this person's serious or not about you. I feel like you're coming in and like, I want this. I think we'll be great together, right? But sometimes people don't see that, and I always say rejection is redirection, right? So if you're getting rejected by someone, it's just redirecting you to the person that you're supposed to be for. And I know that's tough. That is tough a lot of the time, especially where you get your hopes up and you feel like someone is the one, right? So we're going to tie everything off with an oracle card here to end your video here, Aries. Hopefully this has been helping you out. Hopefully this has been resonating with you, and I hope you've been getting some value out of this. So we got the Hawk Spirit tying everything off here, saying let Spirit be your guide. And really that's your guts, your intuition, your instincts. Like let that kind of guide you through this, right? You're going to be able to tell, like, is this person serious or not? And if they're giving you mixed messages too, it's up to you to decide whether you want to stick around or you want to move on. For myself, if I'm getting mixed messages from a person, I move on, because I'm like, I'm not here to waste my time, right? Our time on this planet is limited, of course, and I'm not going to spend it here getting mixed signals from a person. Either like give me a yes or give me a no. And if you give me a yes, great, that's awesome. You give me a no, that's fine too. But I just want to know for sure, what are we doing here? I'd like, let's not be dilly-dallying around. All right, so hopefully that has helped you out. Hopefully that's resonated with you, Aries. If you want to help out the channel, you can like the video, subscribe to the video, because that helps you out too. So you can find these videos easier by checking your subscription, so you can check out your sun, moon, rising, and Venus sign videos after this one, and as I upload them every week. Thank you again for being here, Aries, and I hope to see you in the next video.